Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing over there?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. Coming up later in the program, we're going to be calling her dad. It's a little thing we do every Tuesday. I call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
Also, got some interesting things to talk about between now and then, like this. A vet in Battersea, England, gave a Shar-Pei dog an eyebrow lift when its skin got too wrinkly, and it covered his eyes and blinded him. So they gave a Shar-Pei dog an eyebrow lift. Those cute little wrinkly dogs.
Yeah.
They had to pull it back and
Yeah, I get it.
I've never seen such a thing.
It makes sense. If it's possible to do it, it makes sense. I would think it'd be fairly easy to do on a dog like that, too.
You could just pull the skin back and put it in like a little clip.
Stitches in there and call it good.
Hey, a 6-year-old released a balloon into the sky in Japan with a note asking the finder of the balloon to write back to her at her school. That was 15 years ago.
Whoa.
The note was found on a fish that was caught 3,300 feet below the surface of the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, weird.
Fisherman found the note sitting on a sticky flatfish in his catch along with a piece of string and a red balloon. Still a mystery how the note survived so many years or how it ended up stuck to a fish. So there you go. She did that when she was 6, so that was 15 years ago. She'll be 21 now, if my math is correct. Coming up, we've got some special things to celebrate today. We'll tell you what those are in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
You'd never ask. It's Tuesday, April the 26th. Today is Audubon Day. It's also Hug an Australian Day. It is National Help a Horse Day. I'm not sure what you're going to help a horse do. It's National Kids and Pets Day, National Pretzel Day, Richter Scale Day, and World Intellectual Property Day. You know how I'm going to celebrate today?
By helping a horse get all those flies off of them?
No.
I always feel so bad for them. They're covered in flies, and they try to swat at them with their tail, and they can't get them off, and they've got all these nasty flies around their eyes.
Maybe they just need longer tails. We should just give them hair extensions on their tails. That's what we'll do today. No, we're going to celebrate by eating pretzels. I love pretzels. I'm not exactly sure why I like pretzels so much. And you know what I like even better than pretzels?
What's that?
Those big, soft pretzels.
Ah,
I love those things. Those are really good. So, I don't know, just delicious. Coming up here in a bit, we've got a fun story about a postman that could end up in prison because of junk mail. That's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Postman Robert Coyd did something that you'll definitely appreciate. 51-year-old Coyd dumped 1,088 pieces of advertising junk mail into a trash bin outside of the post office where he works in Chicago. But apparently, that's not right. He was tired of delivering all this junk mail, so he took it upon himself to just get rid of it all one day. But that's against the law.
yeah, because this company's paid to send out that junk mail.
Even though Coyd dumped not one piece of first-class mail, it was all junk mail, so none of it was first-class mail. He's been charged with a misdemeanor offense of mail desertion, which carries a maximum fine of a sentence of 1 year in prison and a possible $100,000 fine. That's crazy.
He should have found a better place to dump it.
He's sitting right outside the post office. What you doing, Rob? I'm sick of junk mail. Just going to weed through this myself. So he went through and got rid of all of the junk mail. Again, 51-year-old postman Robert Cloyd.
I have a feeling he probably lost his job, too.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he's probably the most famous postman in the country right now. And here's the thing that I would say to our postman. You can Get rid of all of our junk mail anytime you want. I never see it anyway because Heidi
I
does
get rid
that.
of it.
Wait a minute. Can I turn you in?
No, because it's my mail.
Oh, it's got my name on it?
Got our name on it.
I'm going to turn you in.
It says,
You're going
or
to prison,
current
lady.
resident. So,
Well, that's me. I'm a current resident. You are going to prison for a year and a possible $100,000 fine. How does that make you feel?
sounds like a vacation.
Anyway, we shouldn't laugh because that's really sad. You know what I think? I think all of the people on Robert Cloyd's route should chip in and help pay that fine because, he was just trying to help them. So, I don't know. That happened in Chicago. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A man avoids prison by sending somebody else there instead. He claims it's for drug rehab. A criminal who avoided prison by bribing another guy to go in his place is finally behind bars. Dexter Mathis, who was jailed for 20 months after pleading guilty to receiving stolen money, paid Pierre Carlton to serve the sentence. All was well with the scheme until Carlton decided to escape with only 47 days left on the sentence.
Oh, my gosh.
As to why he would go to prison for somebody else, the man said he wanted to use the time in prison to beat his addiction to crack cocaine. Mathis also paid Carlton $1,000. During his time in prison, Carlton also got the equivalent of a high school diploma, although it was in Mathis's name. Meanwhile, Mathis is now serving his original sentence and faces further charges of conspiring to defraud the United States. His lawyer claims he was just trying to help Carlton get off drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's
he
what he was
was.
trying to do. And he was trying to help himself get off the hook.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool that this kid served. He said, I'll give you $1,000. You go to jail. It was 20 months. Is that right?
Wow.
20 months.
Wow.
So he said, I'll go to jail for you for 20
And
months.
he left with only 40-some days left.
47
That's
days
insane.
left. And he got a degree, like a GED while he was in there, which is cool. But kids, don't do that. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Visual examples are a great learning tool, as one ski instructor found out. An Austrian, not Australian. I was going to say, there's not a whole lot of skiing in Australia, is there? An Austrian ski instructor, Gunther Murlenbach, took his students to the edge of a slope to explain the dangers of leaving marked trails and exposing oneself to a potential avalanche. Gunther demonstrated by leaving some marked trails,
Oh,
where
started
he was
an avalanche.
instantly swept away by an avalanche. Gunther is now in the hospital being treated for shock and hypothermia, while the rest of the class is still on the edge of the cliff going, I wonder when class is going to be done. Now, I have no idea what happened to the rest of them, but
Oh, goodness.
so yeah, that's not a good idea. That visual instructions typically do help, but you don't want to do it that way. That's a really bad idea. Coming up here in a bit, we've got a lot of interesting stuff for our scoop of the day, and later in the program, we have Tuesdays with Charlie. That's all on the way on a Tuesday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. This is something my father invented back in the 1970s or 1980s, but now LG has developed a new line of refrigerators that can open automatically.
Yeah.
My dad
heard
invented
about
that by
this.
having a bunch of kids, and we would go and automatically open the fridge for him. Actually, he had a good idea back then, because we'd open the fridge and stare in there. He's like, would you close that refrigerator? He said, I'm going to invent, this again in the 1980s, I'm going to invent a refrigerator with a window in it. And I was like, that is a good idea. Why don't we have those yet? We should.
I think they do.
Do they? Well, I don't have one. Hey, the next big thing might just be a flexible computer or television screen. Speaking of LG, they have the LG Display, and it recently gave the BBC an exhaustive hands-on look at their new screen. It can be rolled up and scrunched around, and the display is full HD. The current model is 18 inches corner to corner, but the LG team says they're aiming for screens that are 55 inches and beyond. I've got a link to that awesome technology on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Police in China have seized and destroyed almost 20 tons of smuggled chicken feet. Why? Because they have their own chicken feet. They don't want imported chicken feet being smuggled in, so that happened in China. 20 tons of smuggled chicken feet. Biologists report that Minnesota moose are dying at an alarming rate. I think it has a lot to do with Minnesota drivers.
Probably.
I'm not sure, honestly. So I don't know if they're illegal to hunt moose in Minnesota. I don't know what's going on there, but they're dying at an alarming rate. Recent survey on jeans revealed that men take longer to find the perfect pair of jeans than women. 1/3 of women polled tried on 10 pairs before making a purchase, while some of the men in the survey said they'll try on as many as 20 pair before finding the perfect fitting jeans. How many pair do I try on before I buy jeans?
You
Heidi?
don't. You just
Zero
grab
pair.
them.
I look at them, I go, yeah, it's close
And
enough.
then you come home, you look like you're wearing 6 pairs of Huggies under there because they're hanging
You're
down
like, what's
so
the,
low.
your jeans are way too big. I'm like, they'll be good. I'm only going to wear these for like 2 years. I'll be fine. A woman in London claims that she's allergic to modern living. Cars, microwave, ovens, cell phones, they all emit electromagnetic waves. She claims that causes her skin to rash and her eyelids to swell. She lives in London. You might want to move somewhere, I don't know, in the country. I'm just guessing. Hey, if you're like me, your dental hygienist scolds you every 6 months for not flossing enough. You ever get that, Heidi?
No, because I don't go every 6 months.
that works too. That's one way to get away from it. But if you hear the warnings that sticky plaque tucked between your teeth can lead to gum disease and health problems, but still have trouble squeezing daily flossing in, here's something new that might inspire you to remember. Flossing your teeth, experts say, may do more to fight the effects of aging as well, at least over the long term, more so than plastic surgery.
Really?
So flossing is better for you than a little nip and a tuck here and there. So kids, maybe if you start early and start flossing, you'll look 7 for the rest of your life.
There you go.
Maybe not quite. An Appleton, Wisconsin police officer was investigating a robbery at a store. While checking outside for footprints in the snow, he noticed a quarter. He walked a little further and saw another coin. A little further, another coin. The trail went 4 blocks right to the front porch of a home. The man inside was arrested after apparently he loaded stolen rolls of coins into a milk crate, and they were spilling out as he was walking
funny.
home. So that's how he got caught.
Serves
The
him right.
coins, yeah. Those darn coins. And I would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for those kids and that dog and all those coins. Hey, in Kansas City, a Kansas man, maybe that's because it's also on the Missouri line. I don't know. It just says a Kansas man from Kansas City. That kind of seems redundant. Tried to steal an ATM with a backhoe. He was arrested. Then he asked police officers who were chasing him for help after he jumped into the Kansas River. So things did not go well for him. Let's get to our strange law. In Louisiana, it is illegal to gargle in public places. And it's
Have we read that, or is
I
that
don't know.
just
I think
other
that's a different
places
state.
as well?
I'm trying to go through, unless they have it listed more than once. I think that's a new one. Anyway, that's a strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone, we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
How you doing, Charlie?
It's a wet Tuesday morning.
Well, you know what? The Iowa farmers are going to love that because then, wait, they probably haven't got anything planted yet, have they?
No, they don't.
No, maybe they won't love it then. So, what kind of stuff are we going to learn about here?
Well, we got a little bit of stuff and then just some quick little stuff here, so it'll go pretty fast.
All right.
You know the old Native Americans.
Yeah?
You know how they used to name their children?
How was that?
They named the first thing they saw after they left the teepee after the child was born.
I knew that.
Well, I've heard that, but I don't know if that's true.
Like running water, bent tree.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to allow you two to be together anymore.
that the average 4-year-old asks over 400 questions a day?
I wouldn't doubt that. I remember when our kids were 4, each one of them. Although I think Troy asked a lot more questions than Taylor did.
I think he would double that at
Yeah,
least.
probably.
Still does today.
Yeah, and the sad thing is I really never had a good answer for any of them. So
But they don't know at that age what the heck.
I would just make things up. And the poor kid, to this day, thinks that there's a lot of things that aren't true. He believes it. He's like, oh, my dad told me. Well, your dad's a moron.
And we know that.
Yeah.
You know who James Fix was?
No.
I don't think so.
He was the man who popularized jogging.
Oh, really?
Kind of invented it, I guess you might say.
Okay.
Well, the fool, he died of a heart attack while running.
No kidding.
Huh.
That's no good.
He shouldn't have invented that.
No, not at all.
And then here's another question for you.
Okay.
Do you know the guy's name that invented the Pringles can?
I don't.
Oh, I thought maybe you would know that. You're kind of into that stuff.
Is it Mr. Pringles?
Nope, it's Frederick Bauer.
Frederick Bauer. He invented the Pringles can.
Yep, and when he died in 2008, his ashes were buried in one.
That's a
wouldn't-
good idea.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's a very cool idea.
I thought so. Didn't have to buy one of them urns or whatever you call them. Hey, then, did you know that a mosquito has 47 teeth?
A mosquito
I didn't know
does?
they had teeth.
Well, now you do.
47
That's why we have
teeth.
this show,
That is.
so you know stuff.
Hey, you know, a fun fact I'm going to tell people later. We've got this thing we do after this program where we give fun facts. I happen to have the info here. Great white sharks have 3,000 teeth.
Wow.
That's more than a mosquito has.
You think? Hey, then, did you know that I just read this the other day, speaking of sharks, their teeth, like, they covered with fluoride or something?
Oh, yeah?
They got one of the cleanest mouths out there.
A shark does?
Yep.
Well, he's always gargling in the salt water, you know.
Well, sure, and then they got that fluoride on their teeth.
There you go.
Wonder if you can collect mosquito teeth and put them like on necklaces and bracelets.
It would have to be a really small necklace.
Take a lot of mosquitoes.
This is my mosquito tooth necklace.
I can't even see them. They're very, very small. It's quite rare.
Hey, then, what was Cookie Monster's real name?
Melvin.
Close.
Marvin?
Sid.
Sid?
How was Melvin close?
How is that close to Melvin? I don't think that's close, Charlie. Well, they both have names. In that sense, it was close.
In my world, it's close.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
I got one last thing.
All right, what's that?
Get carried away here. Do you know that eating dandelions can make you pee more?
Really?
So don't eat them.
I won't. I pee enough. I don't need that anymore. So I won't eat dandelions.
I pee like I eat them all the time.
I know. So you better not eat them either. So you ready for your question here, Charlie?
Okay, whip it on me.
All right, here's your question. Now, first of all, I got to ask, did you ever watch the TV show MASH?
Yes.
Okay, did you like that show?
Yeah, it was okay.
You might get this then. Cross-dressing Corporal Max Klinger wore pumps. What size pumps did he wear?
8.5.
Oh, you're pretty close. 10s. Size 10 pumps. Now,
Big foot.
you're in Storm Lake, Iowa. I don't have this info in front of me, but I do remember that one of the episodes of MASH, they talked about the Wingtip Shoe Company in Storm Lake, Iowa. For some reason on the TV show MASH, and I don't think that it exists. I don't think that's a real thing, but it was in the town that you guys live in there. So
Really?
yeah, I was watching MASH one day after I had moved there and was met this lady next to me and married her, your daughter, and I remember watching that show and it said like the Wingtip Shoe Company in Storm Lake, Iowa, and I was like, wow, is that a real thing? So fun stuff.
Marry her before or after that little episode?
I think it was before that.
He married me just because I was from the same town.
I was like, wow, you're from Storm Lake, Iowa? You know, the Wingtip Shoe Company's from there. We should get married. All right, talk to you next Tuesday, Charlie.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can with a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Mexican jumping bean is not a bean, it is an insect. It's a thin-shelled section of a seed capsule containing the larva of a small gray moth, and they call it the jumping bean moth.
Ah.
There you go. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The English language alphabet, the one we use, originally only had 24 letters, not 26. Guess which two were added at the end? Last one was J. Second to the last was U.
Really?
There you go. You and Jay, last ones. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The most famous movie theater in the world is the Chinese Theater located in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The average lifespan of a peanut. I'm sorry. Let me say, what a peanut. No, let me try to read this one again. The average lifespan of a peasant during the medieval ages was only 25. So most of our listeners probably wouldn't even be with us anymore if it was the medieval ages. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Great white sharks have about 3,000 teeth. That is a very fun fact. And thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that'll help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. We're going to talk about collectibles here. There was a time not so long ago that you thought you could retire on your collection of Beanie Babies. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Beanie
I had
Babies.
friends that collected those
Yeah.
things.
Beanie Babies have taken a nosedive in popularity
Yeah.
and in value, but there are still some hot collectibles out there that you could make money on. You want to know what those are?
Sure.
Let's talk about this. Vintage baseball cards. Those are worth some dough. Psychedelic posters from San Francisco's Fillmore Ballroom. Those are big money makers. There are some collectibles that never go out of style, like Chippendale furniture and Queen Anne furniture. Believe it or not, other hot items are old-fashioned weather vanes. And this is the one that shocks me the most. Appliances from the 1970s. Do you remember those green and yellow appliances?
Yeah.
They're worth some dough now. If they're in avocado, autumn harvest, or rust color. Those are the three colors that are most popular. Of course, the biggest collectible market is for toys, especially toys from the 1950s and the 1960s. However, if you don't have any of that stuff and you want to start planning for your future, look for what kids are playing with nowadays and buy those things. Of course, whatever you do, don't open the boxes or you'll lose most of the value when it comes to toys. Kind of reminds me of Toy Story 2. Wasn't that Stinky Pete? Wasn't that Toy Story 2?
Yeah.
He was stuck in a box.
Yeah.
It made you feel sad. Kelsey Grammer was the voice of that guy.
Yes, he
of
was.
Stinky Pete.
I like Kelsey Grammer.
We were just talking about this. Our son is 19, and when he was just a little boy, that Toy Story 1 was like brand new.
Oh my gosh.
And
you
we watched it on VHS.
So many
we
times.
watched it so many times on VHS that when it got to the credits, like the music, "You've got a friend in me," it would go, "You've got a me."
Yeah.
Because we stopped it there so many times. Like
Yep.
it just, and it stretched the tape or whatever. Anyway, fun stuff. So if you're planning on, making all kinds of money on collectibles, there you go. There's some tips for you from the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Here's a bizarre story, Heidi. A man is injured by a falling cow. You want to hear this one, don't you?
Absolutely.
Imagine-
What, was this the boat one?
No. Imagine
Okay.
sitting quietly at a coffee house, reading the paper and drinking your favorite cappuccino, and suddenly you hear a loud crash, and the next thing you recall, you're in the hospital. What happened? You ask your friends. They look around the room and giggle, and they say, well, sounds like a joke, but you were hit by a cow. And this truly happened to a guy named Ethan Sahan. He was playing dominoes with some friends at his favorite coffee house, and a cow fell through the ceiling and knocked him out. Ethan was treated in the hospital for a broken leg and needed 7 stitches to his forehead. The cow apparently wandered off from the hillside where he was grazing and rolled down the hill and then landed on the roof and fell through the coffee house roof. It was built into the side of the hill. The cow was not seriously injured, believe it or not. So the cow is okay. The guy now has a story for the rest of his life. So you got a hangnail over there? Let me tell you, once I was put in the hospital
ain't
from a
nothing.
falling cow. All right, coming up, we're going to have a fun story to, get a whiff of this. It's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you want bugs to stay away from you, Heidi, this summer, you know what you're supposed to do?
What's that?
You're supposed to have a lot of garlic. Yeah, get a whiff of this. Finally, to keep the bugs away from you this summer, the secret is garlic. U.S. scientists have discovered that bugs find the smell of strong garlic very offensive. A new product called Garlic Barrier says that it's garlic spray that keeps away the birds and rabbits and deer and mosquitoes and armadillos.
And vampires.
And werewolves, too, I think.
I don't think it's werewolves.
And that creature from the Black
vampires,
Lagoon.
it does.
That, too. I'm just saying, I bet if you spray that, you'll never get attacked by the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Maybe.
Or a werewolf. You know, and if you do, you'll have to come after these people and sue them for false advertising.
They didn't say anything about
I guess
werewolves.
That was us.
It's vampires.
Oh, is that what it is? I don't think they said that either. Birds, deer, rabbit, mosquitoes, and armadillos, and they'll keep away from you if you spray garlic spray on you. And if you're doing that, don't expect a lot of dates. I'm just saying. Think of things you can do alone.
Didn't you watch The Lost Boys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's vampires.
That's what you say. Coming up, we have 5 things that make a great dad. I'm going to get some notes ready for this one. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, would you say you have a great dad?
I have an amazing dad.
Yeah, we talk to him every Tuesday. We just chatted with him not too long ago. He's fun to talk to. I think this is a pretty good list to find out if you have a great dad. The 5 most important qualities of a great dad, according to experts on the subject, Heidi. Consistency. Some dads would rather be a pal to their kids, and they bend the rules every so often. But children need clear and definite limits in their lives, regular bedtimes, curfews, etc. So you need to be consistent. Don't wander all over and go, okay, yeah, you can go to bed midnight tonight instead of 9 o'clock like usual. Next, sense of humor. This is on the other side of the consistency coin. It says discipline is important, but it's also important to not be a humorless drill sergeant. Children value strong parental figures who know how to joke and laugh with them. Next, patience. A lot of fathers don't let their kids finish their own sentences. It's important to let children say their own piece. And even if you thought you heard the story 1,000 times before, your children just want to communicate with you. Next, safe driving. A father's driving habits have an effect on their children's sense of security. What are you looking at me like that for? And the last thing on the list, prioritization of parenthood. That simply means fatherhood. The most important thing in your life should be being a father, not everything else, and then sometime I'll get around to being a father. So I don't think I scored perfect on that, but I don't think I was terrible. Hey, I got the sense of humor part.
Yeah, you got the
got
sense
that.
of humor part down.
And
That's
sometimes I have patience, but don't test me on that one. And the safe driving, I would say I'm a safe driver. I wouldn't say that I'm the best driver in the world.
We're not usually very consistent. We got to get better at that.
And the prioritization, I've gotten a whole lot better at that as I've gotten older. But that is one thing I wish I could go back and say, I should have done more stuff with my kids when they were little. Because now they're grown up, and I'm like, so do you want to go get some ice cream? And they're like, Dad, that was so like 10 years ago. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm always up for ice cream. There you go. 5 things that make a great dad. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think I got some good news here. Catherine Couch was working as a chef back in 2006, making home delivery meals for clients. And one day, a friend called and asked, hey, do you need any cooking jobs? Do you have any there for my teenage daughter? Because she really wants to be a cook. She goes, I really don't. But the friend persisted, so she said, you know what, send her over, we'll think of something. Couch eventually came up with a little project for the teenage daughter. She said, how about you make some meals and we'll deliver them to a local homeless shelter? That's cool. That was in 2006. In 2007, the Ceres Community Project was born. That first year, 21 volunteers made 4,500 meals. By last year, 2015, the program involved 400 volunteers who now prepare more than 90,000 meals. Isn't that awesome?
That's crazy.
It all started with a mom being persistent that, you know what, my daughter wants to learn to cook, and she'd love to help in your kitchen. And somebody that answered the phone said, you know what, we'll think of something. And this is what they came up with. Now, 90,000 meals last year. I think that is so awesome.
That is awesome.
And it's, first of all, this story has kind of two lessons for me. First of all, persistence pays, because, you know, when the lady first called and asked, the other lady was like, I don't really have anything. I'm not sure what we'd have her do. But she kept calling and saying, you know, is there something she could do? She just really wants to be a cook. She really wants to learn this. So mom was persistent. We have stories of people who were persistent and it paid off big time.
Yep.
So, you know, people in our lives. So if there's something that you really want to do, don't give up on it after the first call, because that doesn't make any sense. That means you really don't want to do it very bad. But the other thing that's neat is that the lady that was taking the call said, I don't really need help here, but what can we do outside of what we need to help others? And it just turned into such a huge, awesome, wonderful thing. 90,000 meals last year.
That's fantastic.
It is. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Tuesday. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. If you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up, because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system, like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
For your bonus break today, we're going to talk about signs your family might be stressed. Conversations often begin with, put the gun down so we can talk. You might be a little stressed. Next one, the school principal has your number on speed dial. Yeah, you might be stressed.
Yeah.
People have trouble understanding your kids because they learn to speak through clenched teeth. Get off the sofa. Next, you're trying to get your 4-year-old to switch to decaf. That's a pretty good sign your family might be stressed. You get impatient waiting for your dinner to be ready when you're cooking it in the microwave. Yeah, you might be stressed. You find yourself trying to convince nutritionalists that, hey, M&Ms, they are in the food group. When you no longer care what the public thinks about you or your children as they jump up and down and laugh maniacally at the grocery store and imitating your child's behavior. And you just don't care. You're like, whatever, that's fine. And the last sign that your family might be going through something stressful, you are happy that your child needs some time in their room. That's it. Go to your room. I need a break.
Sadly, I can relate to many of those.
I know.
Right
Yeah,
now.
I don't think that we've got that kind of stuff going on, but that's funny stuff.
I've thought about pulling my gun a few times.
No. You don't want to do that.
Everybody, listen to mommy.
Okay, Mom's
I
got the
am
floor.
not kidding.
Mom's got the floor, everybody. Be quiet. She means it. She just reloaded. All right. Hey, a 17-year-old in Essex, England, passed his driving test on the first attempt. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
But here's the part that's really cool. Even though he hit a deer.
Oh.
10 minutes into his exam, Tom Lowe hit a deer.
Well, That's not his fault. Those things come
No.
out of nowhere.
He said the driver's exam guy doing the exam said he hit his brakes, but he did hit the deer. After pulling over and checking to make sure everything was fine, he resumed the test. The driving instructor said it wasn't his fault, and he did exactly what he should have done.
Yep.
So he passed the test.
Good.
So talk about an obstacle in the obstacle course.
That's crazy.
So, Dad, good news. I passed the test. Bad news. The front of the car is destroyed. What? I hit a deer. I still passed. All right. After an 87-year-old Sacramento passed out, an 87-year-old Sacramento man passed out while mowing the lawn, an EMT went above and beyond by grabbing the mower and finishing cutting the lawn for him. The EMT even put the mower away when he was done. How cool is that?
Very cool.
That is so cool. And then one other thing, it's just bizarre. Authorities in China have shut down a health clinic for selling what they claim to be a Nobel Prize-winning device that turns water into an all-curing elixir. Patients were sold a $1,000 device for treating water.
Yeah.
A woman with a heart condition says that she feels better after drinking 3 glasses of this water. But they have this Nobel Prize-winning wink-wink device, wink-wink, that turns water into an all-curing elixir. And somehow authorities don't believe them. I don't know why. I mean, sounds legit.
Wow.
Okay, maybe not. That's going to do it for your bonus break, brought to you by Knowles Systems. Now, if you've got funds that earn less than 6%, you need a better system. Commercial mortgage bridge loans earn 6% to 8%. You can get all the details at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.